Hey everyone, Mr. Gray through IS here. It's a little bit of a gloomy day out, and the car's a little bit dirty, so don't judge. But today we're going to be installing some new emblems. So I'm going to show you how to remove your old one and install a new one. To get started, you're going to need some fishing line. Fishing line is pretty soft on paint, so I recommend using that versus some sort of wire or anything of that sort. Next thing you're going to need is some painter's tape. This is also soft on your paint. It won't leave any residue, and you're just going to use that to outline kind of where the emblem was, so you have a general location of where to place a new one. This is a very helpful tool as well. So you don't have to use like a Goo Gone or isopropyl alcohol to try and scrub the residue off once you get the emblem off. This is a rubber, kind of like an eraser attachment for a drill, and you ultimately put it up to the adhesive residue and kind of just, it almost like picks up the residue and doesn't damage the paint whatsoever. I've done this multiple times on other people's cars, also on mine. That's how I got these ones on there. And it's awesome. The only other tool I recommend is a heat gun. That just helps to kind of soften adhesive to get it off, and also to activate new adhesive to get it on. So these are the new emblems I'm going to be putting on. You might be like, wait a minute, Mr. Gray, these look very similar to the ones you already have on there. They do. They are both black and white. However, the ones I do have on my car are matte black. And everything else on my car black wise is gloss black, so I just went ahead and got some gloss black ones. And unfortunately, the ones on my car, if you can notice, let's see, they have this, the F part, the white surrounding the F has begun to yellow, which is unfortunate. It's due to the UV damage. That's what happens when you live in Texas. So I went ahead and got these new ones and took the preventative caution and ceramic coated them before I even put them on the car. So that will help with the UV protection. I did not do that with these last ones I have on my car, so that should help. And I did use Armor Shield, and it is by Avalon King. I will link them in the description. I use this to coat my entire car as well. Not this one, I have multiple of these, but it is very nice, and it works very well. One other thing that I didn't mention, which will be useful if your car's a little dirty like mine, is a microfiber that is wet. So to start, all you're going to do is clean the area around it and tape it off. So once the area around your emblem is fairly clean, you're going to take your painter's tape and just make a box around the emblem wherever it is. If it's in a place like this where there isn't a specific indent for it. Behind this emblem are two holes. I know that because I have taken the original one off and put this on before. But still, it's a little hard to line it up sometimes if the holes aren't small enough to place the emblem, if it still has some wiggle room. So it's a good idea to tape around the emblem just to know the general place. So next step after taping around the emblem nicely is to heat it with your heat gun, or you can even use a hair dryer. It just might take a little longer. It doesn't need to be too hot. Pretty much you're just going to heat it up a little bit until it's a little warm to the touch, and take your, which is almost invisible, your fishing line, kind of wrap it around two fingers like floss, and lead it in one end, whoever is top, bottom, left, right, but kind of put it into one end and use your fingers on top and bottom to use kind of sawing motion, and you're almost going to saw it off like that, if that makes sense, and it's going to come off, and it will leave residue, and that's what the next steps are for. So I just heated the area up and quite literally did what I told you. The fishing line is now on this end, and it took like 3 seconds. I'm gonna pull the last bit out. Oh, and there we go. The emblem is off. This is how it looks, and that's what's left onto there. And that's what we're going to use our rubber eraser wheel spinny tool for. And we're gonna take that off. I'll show you how. So ultimately, you're going to, I'm not going to do this holding the camera just because I don't have the proper leverage. I like to use two hands on this, but you're going to put it against this adhesive, kind of at an angle. You don't have to go flat against it, and quite literally just like that. It's going to pull it up and all the adhesive will come off. I did a little bit at this corner right here, and it's already coming off pretty nicely. So it varies how easily your adhesive comes off, but this one thankfully is coming off pretty easily. And then once you got mostly all the adhesive off, it should look like this. This is all kind of like eraser dust. So give it a good wipe down with your hand. These are the two holes I was talking about. You actually see the original outline for where the first emblem went. So once you give it a nice hand wipe and you take your tool to it a couple times to get the adhesive off, you can go ahead and wipe it down with your wet microfiber again, and you should have a pretty clean surface. Right, and this is how it looks once it's all wiped down. The reason that my squared off part is a little bit bigger than this little outline you see here is because the aftermarket emblem I put on there was bigger than the OEM one. But thankfully, the new ones I have are exactly OEM size, and they should fit right into this little square. So we won't see any of this residue. So next, you're going to take your emblem and put a little bit of heat to the adhesive on the back of it, and take some time lining it up perfectly, and just kind of stick it onto there and then give it a good push. Giving it a little push. Alrighty. This is what we're left with. So you can go ahead and take this tape off and you're finished. And just like that, the new emblem is installed. And that's exactly how you remove an emblem and install a new one. If you have any more, just do the same process wherever else you need to. And other than that, that's exactly how you do it. All right, well, I appreciate you guys for watching, and hit me up on Instagram for anything at all, and I'll have new videos coming every Saturday, so keep an eye out for them. This is one of many. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for helping me hit 300 subscribers on YouTube, and I just hit 800 followers on Instagram, so thank you guys so much for that as well. Stay tuned. Got some really cool videos coming. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.